Okay, so you would know that I always say these 6 words: nothing can prove story doesn't exist. Today, I came across a thing that someone said that mind control had been patented, like a patent. So usually when you have a patent, you've got to prove that you're capable of it. Anyway, cut a long story short, I started trying to work out how I'm going to come across with this thing about story and MK Ultra, Neuralink, hypnosis, and whatever, and how without story, it's really nothing. There's nothing, and nothing can prove story doesn't exist. It's quite a simple, ordinary thing. So I'm just going to read, it's on the screen, what I copied and pasted from, I think it was Gemini, it doesn't matter. The good thing about AI is it's able to assemble sentences. And like I said, it's not sentient, it's just lots of sentences. But here it is, the story map. All right. So everything, the core is story when it comes to all the stuff. So the story map, you'll see it on your screen and I'll read it out to you. Like story, the core, not just words or narrative. It's mind's emergent structure, organizes input, creates meaning, generates sequences and expectations. 2. Cognitive mechanisms: attention, focus, awareness. Suggestibility: accept instructions. Expectation: anticipate outcomes. Depend on interpretable input. Story, capital S. 3. Methods attempting control. Now, this is the one you got to listen to. Methods attempting control. Neuralink / brain tech, stimulate neurons, sensations. MK Ultra, drugs, attempt control chemically. Hypnosis, cues, focus, guide, suggest. All feed into cognitive mechanisms. So I'll just read that again. They all feed into cognitive mechanisms. 4. Why control fails. So it's on the screen, you can read it for yourself. Cognitive mechanisms require story. Story is emergent, cannot be implanted electrically or chemically. So I'm just going to read that again, right? Story is emergent, cannot be implanted electrically or chemically. Outcomes vary individually, not reproducible. Now that's crucial, right? So outcomes vary individually, not reproducible. 4th is legal / patent implications. Cannot patent unreliable methods. Or maybe they can. Who knows? 5th, the loop. Neuralink, MK Ultra, hypnosis, cognitive mechanisms all head to story. And you cannot bypass or replace story. Now just think about it for a minute. You cannot bypass or replace story. Because it doesn't matter what story it is, it's still story, isn't it? Finally, nothing can prove story doesn't exist. Now, it's picked up on that because obviously I prompt it and whatever. But anyway, that's the 6 words I say all the time. So the loop is nothing can prove story doesn't exist. You cannot bypass or replace story. Neuralink, MK Ultra, hypnosis, cognitive mechanisms, story. The takeaway, 6th, story is unavoidable in human cognition. Story is unavoidable in human cognition. All methods of control are limited. Meaning, comprehension, and anticipation cannot be forced externally. So let's just say that again. All methods of control are limited. Meaning, comprehension, and anticipation cannot be forced externally. Every attempt at control, whether tech, drugs, or hypnosis, feeds into cognitive mechanisms. Cognitive mechanisms require story. The mind's structure for meaning and expectation. No external method can eliminate or bypass story, which is why reproducible mind control is impossible. So I'll just read that again, right? No external method can eliminate or bypass story, which is why reproducible mind control, that's the key word, reproducible mind control, is impossible. And I'll just finish at the end there with those 6 words. Nothing can prove story doesn't exist. Period. 6 words. And I might just put that on the thumbnail, right? That no external method can eliminate or bypass story, which is why reproducible mind control is impossible. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you, that, sometimes we just use our cognitive mechanisms to think about things without even using them. But it requires story, doesn't it? And nothing can prove story doesn't exist. That's all they've got. That's all they've got on you and me, and even themselves with their own things that they obviously are part of, is that nothing can prove story doesn't exist.